At first, it sounds harmless. A few sharp taps come from somewhere behind the house. Then it happens again. You look out the window and see a bird clinging to the side of a tree. Its body is pressed close to the bark, and its head moves so fast it almost blurs. It is a woodpecker. Most people think of woodpeckers as noisy backyard visitors. They hammer on trees, drill holes, and sometimes peck at houses, gutters, fences, or wooden siding. When that happens, the first reaction is usually frustration. But here is the surprising truth. A woodpecker in your backyard is not always a problem. Sometimes, it is hunting insects you cannot see. Sometimes, it is helping old wood return to the food web. Sometimes, it is creating future homes for other wildlife. And sometimes, it is pointing to a hidden issue beneath the surface. That is what makes this bird so uninteresting. It can be helpful and annoying at the same time. It can protect your garden, damage your siding, support wildlife, and warn you about softwood or insects before you even notice them. So today, we are going to look at the real story of woodpeckers in American backyards. Are they good for your garden? Are they bad for your trees? Why do they hammer so loudly? And what should you do if one starts drilling into your home? Because a woodpecker is not just making noise. It may be reading your backyard like a map. And the strange part is this. The bird may understand what is happening inside the wood before you do. To understand woodpeckers, we first need to understand how unusual they are. Most birds live in ways that seem easy to imagine. A songbird lands on a branch and sings. A hawk circles above and hunts from the sky. A hummingbird drinks nectar from flowers. But a woodpecker makes its living by striking wood with its face. That sounds impossible, but its body is built for exactly that. Its feet grip bark like climbing tools. Many woodpeckers have 2 toes pointing forward and 2 toes pointing backward, helping them hold tightly to vertical surfaces. Its stiff tail feathers press against the tree like a support stand. Its beak works like a chisel, and its long tongue can reach deep into cracks, tunnels, and holes to pull out hidden insects. Even its head is specially designed for repeated impact. The skull, muscles, beak, and posture all work together to reduce the force of each strike. So when a woodpecker taps on a tree, it is not random. It is controlled, precise, and very often, it has a purpose. But the most important question is not how hard it hits. The real question is, what is it looking for? When a woodpecker taps on bark, it is searching for clues. A hollow sound may suggest dead wood. A soft spot may reveal insect tunnels. A crack may lead to larvae hiding inside. To you, the tree may look normal. To the woodpecker, it may sound like dinner. This is one of the biggest benefits of having woodpeckers in your backyard. They feed on insects that many homeowners never notice until damage has already spread. Beetle larvae, ants, termites, caterpillars, grubs, and other small creatures can live under bark, inside branches, or deep in decaying wood. A woodpecker does not need chemicals. It does not need traps. It simply climbs the tree and goes after what is hidden. This does not mean every tap is a sign of danger, and it does not mean woodpeckers can solve every pest problem. But, in a healthy backyard, they can help keep insect populations in balance. They are part of the natural cleanup crew. They find weak spots, remove hidden prey, and turn old wood into part of a living system. And their work does not stop when they finish eating. Woodpeckers are also important builders in the wildlife world. Many species dig cavities in trees to nest, rest, or hide. The woodpecker may use the hole first, but later, that same space can become shelter for other animals. Chickadees, bluebirds, wrens, nuthatches, small owls, flying squirrels, bats, and other backyard creatures may all use old woodpecker cavities. In nature, a hole in a tree is not empty space. It is valuable real estate. That is why dead trees and dead branches can be so useful when they are not dangerous to people or property. A standing dead tree may look useless to us, but to wildlife it can be a pantry, a nesting site, a lookout post, and a shelter all at once. Dead wood feeds fungi. Fungi soften the wood. Insects move in. Birds arrive to feed. Cavities form. Other animals use those cavities later. So when you see a woodpecker working on an old stump, a dead branch, or a decaying tree, it may be doing exactly what your backyard needs. But here is where the story changes, because woodpeckers do not always choose trees. Sometimes they choose your house, and that is when a helpful backyard bird can quickly become a serious nuisance. A woodpecker may peck at a house for three main reasons: food, shelter, or sound. The first reason is food. If a woodpecker is drilling into wooden siding, trim, fascia boards, or damaged areas around your home, it may be searching for insects inside the wood. Carpenter ants, termites, beetles, and other insects are often attracted to soft, damp, or rotting wood. In that case, the bird may not be the original problem. It may simply be revealing one. The second reason is shelter. Woodpeckers naturally dig cavities, and if your house has soft wood, cedar siding, exposed trim, or old damaged boards, the bird may treat it like a tree. It may begin making a hole large enough to rest or nest inside. The third reason is sound. Woodpeckers do not only peck to find food. Sometimes they drum to communicate. A male woodpecker may hammer rapidly on a loud surface to attract a mate or announce territory. Unfortunately, woodpeckers are very good at finding loud surfaces. Metal gutters, chimney caps, roof flashing, vent pipes, street signs, and even satellite dishes can become perfect drumming spots. To the bird, a metal gutter is not annoying, it is an amplifier. When a woodpecker taps on a tree, the sound is soft and wooden. But when it taps on a metal gutter, the sound becomes much louder and sharper. That is why some woodpeckers seem to choose the loudest object available, especially during breeding season. They are not trying to destroy it. They are trying to be heard. But even when the behavior is natural, the damage can still be real. Woodpecker holes in siding can let moisture enter your home. Moisture can lead to rot. Open holes can invite insects. Repeated drilling can weaken wooden parts of the structure. So yes, woodpeckers can be useful, but when they choose the wrong target, you need to take action. Trees can also be affected, but the situation depends on the type of damage. If a woodpecker drills into a dead limb or a dying section of a tree, the tree probably already has weakness, decay, or insects inside. But sapsuckers behave differently. Sapsuckers drill neat rows of small holes in living trees. They return to those holes to feed on sap and the insects attracted to it. On strong, mature trees, this may not cause serious harm, but on young trees, stressed trees, ornamental trees, or fruit trees, repeated drilling can weaken the plant. If you see rows of small, evenly spaced holes around a trunk or branch, watch the tree carefully. If the tree is important to your landscape, you can protect the trunk with a breathable wrap or a temporary barrier. Just do not wrap it too tightly or trap moisture against the bark. The goal is protection, not suffocation. So what should you actually do if a woodpecker becomes a problem? The first rule is simple: do not harm the bird. In the United States, most native woodpeckers are protected by law, which means you generally cannot kill, trap, poison, or destroy active nests without proper authorization. But even beyond the legal issue, harming the bird usually does not fix the real cause. If insects are inside the wood still needs attention. If the surface is loud, it will still attract drumming. If the siding is soft or damaged, it still needs repair. The smarter approach is to find out why the bird is there. If it is pecking at your house, inspect the area closely. Look for soft wood, moisture, rot, insect activity, or old holes. If you suspect termites or carpenter ants, call a qualified local professional. If the bird is drumming on metal, visual deterrents may help. Reflective tape, shiny hanging objects, wind spinners, or moving streamers can make the area less comfortable. These work best when used early, before the bird becomes attached to the location. If the bird is drilling into siding, temporary barriers may also help. Netting, hardware cloth, burlap, or plastic sheeting can discourage repeat visits when installed safely and correctly. The important thing is speed. A new habit is easier to stop than an old one. But while you protect your home, do not forget the bigger picture. A backyard that supports woodpeckers is often a backyard full of life. If you want them in the right places, Give them natural places to feed and explore. Leave dead branches when they are safe. Keep logs or brush piles in quiet corners. Plant native trees and shrubs. Avoid unnecessary pesticides that remove insects from the food web. You can also offer suet, peanuts, sunflower seeds, or native berry-producing plants, especially in colder months when natural food is harder to find. But place feeders away from the house if woodpecker damage is already a problem. You can welcome woodpeckers into your yard without inviting them onto your siding. The woodpecker is not always the villain. Sometimes it is the inspector you did not hire. So the next time you hear that sharp tapping outside, do not ignore it too quickly. Ask yourself one simple question. Where is the sound coming from? If it is coming from an old tree, the woodpecker may be helping your yard. If it is coming from your siding, it may be warning you to inspect your home. If it is coming from a gutter, it may simply be trying to make the loudest sound in the neighborhood. That is the strange beauty of this bird. It can be noisy and useful, helpful and destructive, a pest hunter and a property problem, a backyard drummer and a forest engineer. So if you see a woodpecker in your yard, do not just ask, how do I make it stop? Ask, what is it trying to tell me? Because in a healthy backyard, even a loud knock can carry a message. And sometimes, the bird hammering outside your window is not just making noise. It is revealing the hidden life inside your yard. So tell me in the comments. Have you ever had a woodpecker visit your backyard? Was it on a tree, on your house, or on something metal? I want to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.